Hi, I'm Jair. Welcome to today's video, where I'll show you some of the features of the Linndrum, some of the features of the Roland Jupiter 8, how they go together when you sync them up, and how these instruments shape not only the sound, but also the composition of one of my favorite tracks, Jan Hammer's Crockett's theme. So today my only reverb is the Yamaha Rev 7, which will deal with the gated reverb on only the bass drum. And all the other sounds you'll hear are dead, dry, and just the instruments as they are. So the Linndrum has 12 separate sounds. For all of its sounds, it has 12 separate outputs. They are samples from a real drum kit, so it stands out between all the analog drum gear of that era. And today we're going to use one of the separate outputs for the bass drum to go through the Yamaha Rev 7 for the gated reverb. And to show off the mixer panel, I'm going to use the stereo out for the rest of the track. And it has stereo out, and now we can use the mixer panel for the volume faders for every individual sound, and the panning panel to make them appear either to the left or the right or dead center or anything in between of the stereo spectrum. It has a tuning option, which we won't be using today, and a hi-hat decay knob. And that's interesting because the hi-hat is really one sound of an open hi-hat, and for the closed hi-hat that you'll hear here is just the same open hi-hat sound but cut off by circuitry. And they put a knob on it, so now we can make the sound go very, very tight or very, very loose. And Jan Hammer used a fairly light, open, loose hi-hat for this track, so it did shape the sound of the track already. And we have the run-on-the-mill 4-on-the-floor bass drum. And here we have the 16th note cabasa. Put them all together. And now we're going to use the panning panel to make the hi-hat go all the way to the left. Dial it back a little bit so it can bleed over in the other end of the spectrum. And the cabasa will take all the way to the right. Now to glue it all together, we need a little gated reverb on the bass drum. And that's the bare bones rhythm track which the rest of the track is built upon. It doesn't use, Jan Hammer didn't use the snare drum. Maybe he didn't even use the high and low congas for the rest of the track. But this will do for now because we're only dealing with the first few seconds of Crockett's theme. Now it has another trick up its sleeve. It has a trigger output which sends 5-volt pulses to any instrument that will accept it, like the Roland Jupiter 8's arpeggiator input. And we'll have it send, the Linndrum send 16th notes, like the cabasa, to the Jupiter 8. And now the Jupiter 8 rhythmically I'm sorry, I'm Dutch, I'm an idiot. Rhythmically, it will link up and sync up with the Linndrum. So a regular arpeggiator would something like this. Now, Jan Hammer used, and we'll dial that back. Now, Jan Hammer used a range of 2 octaves. and he used the random arpeggiator, which triggers random notes within the range of 2 octaves. Now that's nice enough, but this is the whole mode on the Jupiter 8. I'll show it like this. This is the whole mode, so I have 8 voices polyphony with which I can play the bass. But there's also a dual option, and this splits the 8 voices polyphony of the Jupiter 8 in 2 sets of 4 voices polyphony. And with 1 key press, I can trigger notes on both channels at the same time. So I take 1 sound, double that. I'll trigger both sounds with 1 key press, and it will be sent through the left and right plugs. And in the mixer panel, which you can see, I will dial the left and right channel all the way to left and right on the stereo spectrum. And now we have that sound. This is in the whole mode, and this is in the dual mode. So this is just a Jupiter 8 on its own. And you can hear it not only fattens up the sound, but it does something with it that comes close to pulse width modulation like. But the bass track of Crockett's theme is mono, dead center. Now Jan Hammer didn't use the whole mode, but he did use the dual mode. But he dialed both channels dead center, so they overlay like this. And now you can hear all sorts of harmonic overtones, which are deliciously random and musical. Again in the whole mode, which is good enough, and now in the dual mode. So that's the entire sound of the bass and drum track, and now I can play it with essentially with 2 fingers. So that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helps you if you want to recreate a track on your own. You don't need the Jupiter 8, you don't need the Linndrum, but now you know how the sound is compiled, and you can recreate it using different methods of 2 of the same tones over each other. The Linndrum, of course, you can get any sort of plugin and do this with. Now you know all the parts, how it's made, but what I really wanted to show you is how these instruments probably helped creating, without a DAW, with very little processing, one of the great synth tracks of all time. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the comment section, and maybe till next time.